guys, today we're doing a video at the zoo for my sister's field trip, so...
Toulouse, and Toulouse is a king vulture from South America. Now there's a few reasons they call this guy the king. One of them is he is the largest species of vulture around. He uses his size to his advantage too. When this guy's feeling hungry, he does not go searching for food. He goes searching for smaller vultures. He knows if he can spot those little guys circling around, they have found something tasty to eat. And due to his large size, nobody's going to question him if he decides to help himself a meal. Now, if you're at all familiar with vultures, you know what these guys like to eat. Toulouse is a carrion feeder. And carrion refers to something that is no longer alive. This kind of line there. Not many animals will eat carrion, so that makes Toulouse a really important animal to have in a natural ecosystem. This guy's nature's cleanup crew. He's going to make sure that all that stuff that potentially could cause disease and bacteria gets taken care of. Now you may be thinking, hold on, if he has such questionable food choices, isn't he at risk to get sick himself? Vultures have it all figured out, however. First off, they have incredibly powerful stomach acid. It's comparable to battery acid. So he can dissolve things like the rabies virus in his belly, no problem at all. Also, if you look at the top of his head, you'll notice he does not have any feathers up there, bald and beautiful. Not having any feathers on the top of his head will prevent any of that food stuff from getting stuck. Skin is much easier to clean than feathers. That's also why his face is so brightly colored. It will attract the UV rays from the sun, which will then disinfect his face. Now, I do want to point out that really high-tech tool that Josh has in his hands. Just kidding, it's not that high-tech. It's a broomstick hand with a tennis ball attached to it. However, that is a very useful training tool. That is called a targeting pole. What Toulouse here is trained to do is follow that tennis ball around, touch his beak to the end of it, and then he gets a nice, tasty treat. This is a form of positive reinforcement training, and it gives Toulouse a very clear direction where to go on stage. As you can see, he's very good at it. And don't panic, Josh is not feeding him pieces of carrion out of that pouch. He is getting pieces of fresh meat that was prepared for him today. Now this guy's a 14-year-old king vulture. He is a fully grown adult. You can actually tell Toulouse is an adult by the coloration of his feathers. These animals go through 3 different color phases throughout their lives. When they first hatch out of the egg, they have all puffy white down feathers and a solid black head. As they start to mature, they're going to have a lot more black feathers with white spots mottled in between. Once they reach 5 to 7 years of age, which is their full-grown adulthood like we saw on Toulouse, they're going to have those solid white shoulder patches and then the really bright vivid colors on their face. Even at 14, however, that bird is still pretty young. On average, king vultures live for around 40 years. Now we have 2 king vulture exhibits located over by Dragon World, side by side. Go check them out today because we have a very young bird on one side and an adult on the other side. So you'll get to see that really cool color change that those birds go through. Our next animal coming out is a bit of a crowd favorite. However, this is definitely outside of his bedtime, so he might take a couple of moments to wake up before he gets up and going. This animal is what you call a crepuscular animal, because it's something that is most active at dawn and dusk. So crepuscular, most active at sunrise and sunset. You'll see several animals throughout the zoo today, but those are their preferred times to be awake. Although many animals here at the zoo will switch around their natural sleep cycles, especially our show animals, they get all their time and attention throughout the day, so it's totally normal to see some of our nocturnal animals out and about as you walk around the zoo today as well. So we'll see if we can get him to come on out. It looks like he's ready to say hello. Keep your eyes low to the ground, however, because he is a bit of a shorter animal. This here is Tank, and Tank is a giant hairy armadillo. That is actually what he's called, too, the giant hairy armadillo. Now you may be thinking, that armadillo does not look very giant. Well, I do agree with you. He's not super big. But the reason they call this guy the giant hairy armadillo is because he's one of the larger species of hairy armadillo from South America. So these guys are a little bit smaller than the cousins we get up here in the United States. He gets the hairy portion of his name because take a look at him. He's got hair all over his body. Tank has hair in his nose and his ears as well. But that's not any poor hygiene on his part. You'll probably notice how low to the ground he is. When this guy runs, he kicks up a lot of dirt and dust, so extra nose hair is very beneficial for Tank. It's going to prevent him from getting all clogged up with dirt. Like most armadillos, this guy is equipped with that built-in coat of armor. On his back there's a very thick layer of skin. That's called his carapace, and that's what he relies on to keep him nice and safe out in the wild. Unlike some of his cousins, however, Tank cannot roll up into a ball to defend himself. He's not quite long enough. So what this guy does instead is he flattens himself out on the ground like a pancake and digs his long nails into the dirt. That will spread that carapace flat and wide, so any animal trying to get past it's going to have a difficult time. If they do manage to grab hold of him, they're not going to be able to pick him up off the ground because he has an excellent grip. So despite not being able to do that ball behavior like some of his cousins, Tank's carapace still does its job to keep him nice and safe. So I guess he was out there. He's coming back out now. Sometimes he's like, yeah, I'm done, and just walks himself right back home. But that's actually excellent. All of our animals here in the show have something we call freedom of choice. They always get to decide if they want to come out and say hello, or if they'd like to go back home, they definitely have that option as well. None of our animals are ever forced to be out here. However, when they do come out, they're typically getting one of their special favorite treats. In fact, if you look closely, you'll notice that Tank is getting a pretty cool thing up here, a nice Fruit Loop. Out in the wild, he's an insectivore, so these guys typically are going to eat different types of bugs, grubs, ants, things like that. Instead, Tank is relying on two much more powerful senses, his sense of smell and his hearing. That nose of his is so strong, he can recognize the smell of Josh's lovely zookeeper boots. As you can imagine, they have a pretty distinct scent to them, and that's why I stepped up here when he came out. He'd recognize my boots as well. He's also listening for the scuffing of his boots on the ground there. So even though they don't have the best of eyesight, those two powerful senses compensate for it. They can find their way around no problem at all. But great job, Tank. Thanks for coming out for us today. Our next animal coming out is from a different part of the world. We just saw two South American animals. This next girl is from Africa, so we'll see how she feels. Hi there. This is Kevin. Kevin is a little bird called a white-cheeked turako, and they call her the white-cheeked turako because she's got little white spots on her cheeks. Ta-da! They thought long and hard about that name. There's a reason they call these birds turacos, however. Hard to see when her wings are folded, but check out when Kevin decides to fly. You're going to notice a nice bright red color. That red feather has a pigment in it called tyrosine, so that's where these birds get that name turaco. Now most of the time when you see colorful feathers, it's a refraction of light. So the fact that that's an actual pigment, okay then, there's an actual pigment in those feathers there is pretty unique to these birds. Now the reason it takes on that kind of rusty red color as well is because out in the wild, these animals come from the Congo and New Guinea area, which also happens to be the copper belt in Africa. So a lot of the food they are eating has natural copper deposits in it. That's why it takes on that rusty color. Now not only are tyrosine feathers beautiful to look at, they're also a defense mechanism. If she feels threatened, what she's going to do is pop open her wings and start squawking, making all sorts of noise. Out in the wild, many animals that have really bright colors on them, it's a warning sign that, hey, I'm venomous or poisonous. You are going to get sick if you eat me. Now, of course, this bird is neither venomous nor poisonous, but other animals are not going to know that. So that's an excellent way for her to trick those critters into thinking that they do not want to eat her. Keeps her nice and safe. Now, she's showing off some marvelous little flights for us today, but these birds are actually not long-distance flyers. Where they come from, the trees are very close together. They live in very densely forested areas. So instead of flying from branch to branch, Kevin's preferred method of transportation is actually hopping. In order to demonstrate this hopping ability, I'm going to need two adult volunteers to come on up and pretend to be trees. Right here, 1 or 2, come on down. So what y'all are going to do is your best tree impression, and how you do that is you're going to get in between me and Josh here, hold out your arms just like this, and we will see if Kevin would like to demonstrate what an excellent hopper she is. What do you think, Kevin? She's like, yeah, sure, why not? Let me get these treats first. There we go. Now, one of the reasons these birds are such excellent hoppers is actually the way their feet are designed. This bird has what you call a semi-zygodactyl foot. So what that means is one of her toes in the back can actually rotate forward. That allows her to grip on any type of bark, any size of branch, super easily. So this is how these guys are usually going to get around out in those forests. Keeping her wings closer to their body is going to ensure that she doesn't damage any of those feathers in case she does need to fly away really quickly eventually from something. What do you think, Kevin? One more time? Boing, boing, boing. There we go. Good job. Thank you to my lovely volunteers. And great job, Kevin. That was some fabulous hopping there. There are 23 different species of turako out there in the world. We have 7 of them here in the park. A lot of them are going to be located over by Dragon World. She just really likes that rope today. So we're actually quite proud of Kevin. She's pretty new to shows. She's been doing shows for about 9 months now. So she's been doing a fantastic job. In fact, those birds are not really well known for being calm animals. They're pretty hyperactive. One of the reasons they have so much energy is because they intake a lot of natural sugar. Those animals are called frugivores because they primarily eat fruit. Tons of sugar. And then up here on stage, as a treat, we're giving her those magical Fruit Loops. Works for training armadillos, birds, all sorts of different animals. Love these pieces of cereal. So that's something she's getting out here, even more sugar. We're super proud of her that she likes to hang out with us on stage and not just kind of go peace up into the palm tree and be like, bye, see you later. But again, she always has the option to leave stage if she ever wants to. Sometimes she will exit on her own through her little door as well. That's why we keep it open. That always gives her a nice, safe feeling. Our next animal coming out is a crowd favorite. In fact, if you listen closely, you're probably going to be able to hear him getting ready. This guy is also a very talkative little animal. He can make up to 16 different vocalizations that all mean different things. If you've been over to our aquarium already this morning, you've probably seen some of his cousins as well. His name is Finn, and Finn is an Asian small-clawed otter. He's the smallest species of otter in the entire world, so he is fully grown at this size.
That's the way I was.
This guy weighs about 7 pounds, where his cousins, the giant sea otters, average around 40 pounds. Poor petite member of the otter family. Now, his entire body was built to swim. That long, thin frame is really good at navigating through the water. His tail acts as a directional paddle, or a rudder for him, and all 4 of his paws are partially webbed. Unlike most otter species, however, the webbing on his toes does not go all the way up. It stops halfway. So this guy has fingertips. They are very dexterous with their little paws. They are excellent climbers. They'll even use their front paws to catch food. Most animals will catch food with their mouths, so catching food with your front paws is a pretty unique trait to the small-clawed otter. Not only can Finn use his paws for climbing and for food catching, but Finn can also use his paws for a very common human greeting. For this behavior, I'm going to need another volunteer. It can be kids this time. Okay, you're going to be right up, so super excited. Come on down. So just be careful down the bleachers, please.
Oh, man.
All right, first off, before we get started, what is your name? Kelsey, let's give it up for Kelsey, everyone. Thank you for volunteering. What I would like you to do is stand right here, hold your hand up flat like this in this little window. Perfect. And Finn will say hello to you, but he cannot speak English, so you get a high five instead. And you can keep your hand up there for a couple more. This is good for Finn, too. Lately, he's been doing this little hand hug thing, so we're trying to work on getting a flat paw. So what Josh is doing here in the training world is called raising criteria. We're trying to tweak an established behavior. When he does accomplish that flat paw, he's going to get extra treats instead of that 1 treat per 1 behavior. So what do you think, Finn? 1 more for good luck? There we go. Thank you so much for volunteering. Going back to you. And good luck, Finn. Believe it or not, our little otters getting just as much out of this interaction as we are. These animals are super social. They live in small family groups of about 5 to 6, and they're monogamous animals, so they actually mate for life as well. In fact, you might notice he's pretty attached to Josh up here too. When these guys aren't hunting for food, they're spending time with each other, playing and grooming. Now, Finn has an otter friend he lives with, but this guy's never alone. But as his caregivers, we make sure to spend tons of time with him as well. He doesn't have to worry about hunting. We provide all the food he could ever desire. So
I want to go see the, I want to go ride the ride.
Training sessions like this are one of the many ways we can accomplish that under human
roller
care.
coaster?
He gets to spend time with his favorite trainer, earn
57?
favorite like fish and
This is
shrimp,
how
and more importantly, it's an extra way to get out some of that endless otter energy. Just so happens to look rather adorable as well. Speaking of adorable, everybody.
It's 10:45, Grandma. I want to go.
Too darn cute. And
This is the time we eat.
Let's be honest. Who wants to take Finn home today? Right. I can't blame anyone there. I apologize. We are not auctioning off any otters today, and we do not recommend bringing this animal home. Yes, he is cute and fuzzy, but this guy belongs to a group of animals called mustelids. And in the mustelid family, we have animals like badgers, weasels, and ferrets. Do you think those animals smell good or bad?
Bad.
Absolutely right. Mustelids, as that name suggests, have a very musky smell. They have scent glands under their chins and under their tails. This guy would wholeheartedly disagree, however. Finn thinks he smells great. Finn thinks he smells so great, he would like the entire world to smell exactly like him. So mustelid like this guy will scent mark their homes, their toys, their friends by rubbing their faces and tails all over them. If you took him home, the very first thing he would do would be to scent mark your house so it smells exactly like him. And that smells to the equivalent of 10 wet ferrets. Anyone want their house to smell like 10 wet ferrets? No, a couple people? I don't envy your housemates. If you would rather enjoy them here at the zoo where they can leave all their smells behind in their enclosures, we do have otters in our shows daily. Oh yeah, you can give it up for her if you did a fantastic job. We have otters in our shows daily, and we have 2 groups of small clawed otters over in our aquarium. You can get your fill of otter adorableness right here at Wildlife World without stinking up your house. In fact, if you check back in the next couple of months, chances are we will have some otter pups. We don't have any right now, but we do have them here very frequently. I'm going to give you a heads up, however. Otter pups are not born knowing how to swim or hold their breath. This is not something they do by instinct. This is actually something they learn from the adult otters. They teach them this. Breath holding lessons can be a bit of a harsh lesson to witness. Mom's got a tough love approach to that one. She's going to scoop her pup up into her paws, lovingly take him down to the water, dunk him in and hold him there until he figures it out. Isn't that sweet? I'm really glad I didn't learn how to hold my breath that way. If you ever witness this, please don't panic. Mom is not trying to drown her baby. It is the fastest way for them to learn how to hold their breath, which is a very crucial skill for them to have later on in life. Now, swimming lessons are by far cuter. The parents are going to float up onto their backs, put their pups on their bellies, start paddling around. Eventually the pups pick up, hey, if I paddle my paws, I'm going to be able to swim just like Mom and Dad. Definitely go check out those otters today regardless, because they are normally seen playing at 90 miles an hour or sleeping in an otter pile because they just got done playing at 90 miles an hour. Our grand finale coming out for you today is a totally rare animal you have not seen any of as you walked around the park today. Just kidding, it's parrot! You might have seen 1 or 2 parrots as you walked around the park today already. There is a reason we have so many of these beautiful birds, and this very distracted girl is no exception. Her name is Angel. Angel is a silver-crested cockatoo from Australia. Now, whenever you're
That's the
an animal name, you definitely want to look at the top of their
20
head.
cockatoos.
That means they have a very cool hairstyle or design.